ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामी निति नामिने नमो आचार्य पदाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौर कथा धामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम ओम तत्सत। हरे कृष्ण। Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, visible.
Oh. So we will read text 36 and 37. We will read from 34 onward. 34th verse. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Text 35. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion, for by this knowledge you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine. Text 36. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Okay? So now, before this, like we just read 34, 35, 36, and here in these verses, Lord Krishna, he's telling how to attain that transcendental knowledge. Basically, how to become self-realized. What is the process? What is the way? How to become? और इसके पहले उन्होंने लॉर्ड कृष्णा ही स्पोक अबाउट द वेरियस sacrifices. Does everyone remember about the various sacrifices we studied? What do the karma yogis, what sacrifices they perform, and what is the result? What do the jnanis, what kind of sacrifices they perform? What is the result? Okay, so like that we studied about karma yogis, jnana yogis, and ashtanga yogis, the kind of sacrifices that they should perform, and what is the result of the sacrifices that they perform, and eventually what is the goal of performing sacrifices. Basically, Krishna says that one must perform sacrifice in human form of life. Okay. Now, yeah. So if you read, we can just go through the entire translations also, because it's been a long time. We are coming back to the 4th chapter. So basically, Krishna tells Arjuna about the importance of performing sacrifices in human form of life, and the different kind of yogis, karma yogis, jnana yogis, ashtanga yogis, bhakti yogis, they perform different sacrifices. And the aim of performing sacrifices is to attain transcendental knowledge. Okay, that is the aim. But now in this 36, 37 verse, Krishna is telling us, whoever you may be, whether you are a karmi, whether you are a jnani, or whichever yoga system you're following, or whatever, or whether you are a sinner, most sinful person, it doesn't matter. You simply try to approach a bona fide spiritual master, and by serving him, you can attain the same transcendental knowledge that is attained by performing different sacrifices by jnanis and yogis for many, many lifetimes. So basically, the jnanis, karmis, and yogis, they will perform sacrifices for many, many lifetimes. And then in one lifetime, they may attain the transcendental knowledge by gradual progression, by gradually progressing further. But Krishna says that whatever in this lifetime alone, only, you can attain transcendental knowledge by following bhakti yoga, by approaching a spiritual master, and inquiring from him submissively. So that's the point that is coming in 36, 37 verses. So we'll just read the translations from text 1 so that it gets, we revise the previous classes also. Maybe five text, we all of us can read one by one. I'll read the first 5, then next 5 someone else can read. Text 1, the personality of Godhead Lord Shri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. Okay, so this science of yoga, Lord Krishna is saying that there is transcendental knowledge. I have spoken to sun god Vivaswan, who instructed to Manu, and from Manu it came down to Ikshvaku and to the human society. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in due course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So again, a very subtle hint is given over here in text 3, that this transcendental knowledge, which is the goal of all sacrifices and everything that we do, the goal is to attain the transcendental knowledge. But this transcendental knowledge can be very easily attained by those who are devotees of Lord Krishna, who have a loving relationship with Lord Krishna. To them, Lord Krishna reveals this transcendental knowledge completely. So this is a subtle secret that Krishna is giving in the text 3. Then Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? Then the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. Okay, next 5. Someone can read. Sujata Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they have all attained transcendental love for me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So then Arjuna asked Krishna about him that you are my age. How is it that you have told this science to Vivaswan, sun god, who is so many years older than us? So Arjuna is just putting this question for all of us. So then Krishna says that both of us are eternal and many births, both you and me have come, but you forget, I remember, because I'm the Supreme Lord and you are a part and parcel of me. So you don't remember anything, but you always accompany me. And then Krishna tells about himself when he comes, when does he appear in the material world? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat. Whenever there is a discrepancy and the irreligion takes over, then Krishna appears. Okay. And then Krishna says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in the material world. So this transcendental knowledge, this divine knowledge, this is what Krishna is saying, that this knowledge, getting this knowledge is very important. That is the goal of human form of life. So this transcendental knowledge is nothing but knowledge about Krishna, knowledge about the self, our who we are, what is our relationship with Krishna. This is the transcendental knowledge that Krishna is talking about. And he's saying that one who understands this knowledge, one who attains this knowledge does not have to take birth again in the material world. We go back to Godhead. Okay, text 11 to 15. Sita Lakshmi Mataji, can you read? Can you please read?
Yes, Mataji. I'll read, Mataji.
Yeah, text 11 to 15.
Yeah. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pratha. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands the truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so then Krishna then talks about himself, how he is beyond the three modes of material nature. So even when Lord Krishna comes here in this material world, he is not affected by the three modes. Whereas we being part and parcel of Krishna, we are very small, minute particles of Krishna. When we come in this material world, we get bound by the three modes. We get bound by karma and mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Whereas for Krishna, there is no bondage, there is no work that Krishna has to perform here. But we get entangled in fruitive works. We get entangled by the karma, karmic cycle and reactions, actions and reactions. But Krishna does not. So, and then Krishna says, all the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. So Krishna says we must follow in the footsteps of our acharyas, who have the knowledge of the transcendental science about Krishna and how they have performed their duty in Krishna conscious ways. So we must follow in their footsteps and attain success in our lives also. Okay, text 16 to 20. Isha Mataji, can you read, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, and knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Text 18. One who sees inaction, and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive actions, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. Such a man of understanding acts with his mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all the sense of proprietorship.
Okay, that's it, Mataji. From 16 to 20.
Okay,
You have
Mataji.
read
Hare
till
Krishna, Mataji.
21, right?
Till 21, yes, Mataji.
21, okay. So then Krishna talks about what is action, what is inaction. Before that, he told very clearly that there is no action for Krishna, there is no karma, there is no work for Krishna. मतलब भगवान बद्ध नहीं है कोई कर्म करने के लिए इस भौतिक जगत में, right? But we are bound, हम बद्ध हैं. But Krishna is not. So he is not. There is nothing absolutely necessary for Krishna to follow. He has to do something like this only, or like he can do anything he wants because he is beyond the three modes. There is no karma for him, and everything is coming from him. Everything belongs to him. So he is free to act as he wants. But because he comes in the human society, and because we have certain rules, regulations for ourselves, that is why Krishna acts as if he is the ordinary human like us. He acts like that, but he is not bound by those rules and regulations. He is not bound by any law. And then Krishna talks about the karma. What is karma? What is action? What is inaction? What is vikarma? Basically, what is karma, vikarma and akarma? तो इसके पर भी हमने डिस्कशन किया था काफी. So karma is those activities that we perform according to the scriptures, the prescribed duty according to scriptures. So karma में there are subtypes, sakam karma and nishkam karma. So when we perform our prescribed duty according to the scriptures, but with the intention of some gain, material gain, that is sakam karma. और वही कर्म, वही ड्यूटीज अगर हम निष्काम भाव से करेंगे, just because it is my duty, I must do it, so that becomes nishkam karma. So Krishna says better than sakam is nishkam karma. Then he goes further in saying that actually even better than nishkam karma is performing a karma, where you are not bound by any by the karmic bondage, because whether we perform sakama karma or nishkam karma, we are still bound by our karma. But when we perform a karma, that means when we do all our activities for the pleasure of Krishna, that becomes a karma. We are not bound by any reactions. So all that is explained in this karma section. And then Krishna talks further about the akarma. Text 21 से आगे वो अकर्म के बारे में ही और थोड़ा एक्सपैंड करते हैं कि जो लोग अपने सेंसेस को कंट्रोल में रखते हुए they just act, they will do karma only that is necessary for the bare necessities of life. Like we all have to earn, we all have to work, we all have to study, we have to take care of the family. These are our duties, right? We have to do it because otherwise how will we live in society? For our own maintenance, we have to do all these basic things. So Krishna says, but how we have to do these activities? First of all, understand who you are, understand who Lord Krishna is, understand your relationship with Krishna. And then whatever you do for the pleasure of Krishna. So taking care of a family, studying or doing job or cooking for the family, whatever activity you're doing, you do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Don't do it just because this is my family, this is because I get happiness out of this. No, you do it because you want to please Krishna by doing these duties. Okay, so then even though you will be working, but you will not be affected by any sinful reactions. Okay, text 22 to 25, 26. Leena Mataji, can you read these verses?
Left, I think so, Mataji.
She's not there. Okay, so
No,
then,
she's left. I'll
She's
continue?
there. She's there, Mataji.
maybe she's not able to unmute and read.
Yeah, maybe.
So, okay, I'll read
Yes,
them.
Mataji, I can read.
Okay, you may read then, Mataji. Text 22 to 26.
20. He who is satisfied with gain, which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions.
Yeah, one
23rd.
second, 1 minute. So Krishna now he tells how we have to perform our karma. So we have to control our mind and senses, and we should be satisfied with whatever gain comes of its own accord. Okay, and we should not be envious of anyone. If suppose I work hard, right? But I work hard for my exams. Now the result lies in Krishna's hands. Okay, I have to perform. I have to do my duty. I will try to study nicely. I will try to give my best. Now, whatever the result comes, I should not get affected by it. I should accept whatever the result comes as Krishna's will. Okay, so sometimes it may happen that I have worked hard, but I did not get the result as expected by me. Somebody else has got better result than me, although that person did not work so hard. That we may feel, because everyone feels I worked harder than the other person. So we may feel that, this person did not work so much and he's not so good also, but how come he got better than me? So we start feeling envious of other people, those who get better. So basically, what does Krishna tell us? That you do your duty, but you should not try to enjoy the result of your karma. So whatever the result comes, let it, you depend on Krishna for it, accept it as Krishna's will. So whatever comes, if you get something good, okay, be grateful to Krishna. If you don't get, still accept it as Krishna's will, and don't be envious of others who have better than you, and don't be proud of yourself when you get something. So what happens usually when we get the result that we expect, we become proud. We get pride in that. Okay, I did so much, so I got so much. It is my hard work that I have earned so much. So we develop pride. That's a problem. And if when we don't get and others get, then we become envious that how come I did not get and others got. So this is how we get entangled in karma when we react to the result. So Krishna says we should be equipoised. Whatever is the result, we should neither be proud nor be envious. We should be steady in both success and failure. If we perform our actions like this, then we will not get entangled in the karmic reactions. Okay, text 23.
The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. 24. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same original spiritual nature. 25th. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some other sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman.
Okay, 1 minute. Please stop here. So basically, till here, Krishna was explaining about akarma. That means Krishna consciousness. That a person in Krishna consciousness, his focus completely is Krishna. Okay, and he has that knowledge. Keeping that knowledge in mind, he will try to keep his mind and senses under control, and he will try to do his daily activities as per the bare necessities of life which is needed, and completely depending on Krishna. So a person working in such mentality with such transcendental knowledge, eventually he goes back to the spiritual kingdom. He goes back to Godhead after this lifetime. Okay, and then Krishna now will come to different kinds of yogis like karmis and karma yogis and jnanis. Uh, how they progress. So till now, till 24th, Krishna was explaining about akarma or Krishna consciousness. That how Krishna consciousness gives us complete success. In this lifetime also, and after this lifetime, we go back to Godhead. Whereas now Krishna is going to explain us about the karma yogis and jnana yogis, what is their process and what is their destination and what result they get. Okay, so 25th May, he is explaining about the karma yogis, karmis. Okay, so they offer sacrifices in the fire of Supreme Brahman. Okay, then 26th I will read. Some, the unadulterated brahmacharis, sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of mental control. And others sacrifice the objects of senses in the fire of senses. So then he's talking about the various varna and ashram. तभी आश्रम जैसे ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम है, गृहस्थ आश्रम है, तो ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में जो ब्रह्मचारीज हैं, they are also doing some sacrifice, because for brahmacharis they have a very regulated life. They cannot engage their senses in sense enjoyment, right? They have to restrict their senses from sense enjoyment and focus in studying the Vedic scriptures. Okay, so they are also doing sacrifice. They are sacrificing their senses in the fire of mental control. They're trying to control their mind and senses. Similarly, regulated householders, the grihasthas, they also perform sacrifice by following the rules and regulations of grihastha ashram. Then others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of controlled mind. Then Krishna is talking about the jnana yogis. They are also trying to control their mind and senses. So for them, the sacrifice is offering the activities of the senses in the fire of the controlled mind. Then 28th verse, Krishna is talking about the yogis. Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possession, and others by performing severe austerities by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. So I hope everyone is getting what Lord Krishna is trying to tell us. He's trying to tell that attaining the transcendental knowledge is the main goal of human form of life. And after attaining this transcendental knowledge, one should perform karma. That becomes a karma, basically. If when we get the transcendental knowledge that Krishna is everything, Krishna is supreme, and I am his part and parcel and supposed to serve him, then we become Krishna conscious. And in a Krishna conscious way, we try to perform our duties. Okay, so that is what Krishna is telling. That is the goal of life. Now, some are karmis, they perform sacrifices in a certain way. Some are yogis, they perform sacrifices in a certain way. Some are ashtanga yogis, they perform sacrifices in a certain way. Okay, so everybody has to perform some sacrifice. Okay, but the goal is to attain transcendental knowledge. Okay. Then text 29, still others who are inclined to the process of breath restrain to remain in trance practice by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. Again, the Ashtanga Yoga system is explained how they perform sacrifices. Then 30th verse, all these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions. And having tasted the nectar of the reserves of sacrifices, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. So why is everybody performing sacrifice? Why has Krishna said that in every आश्रम, हर एक वर्ण और हर एक आश्रम में सेक्रीफाइस करना जरूरी है। क्यों कृष्ण कह रहे हैं? क्योंकि सो दैट वी बिकम क्लेंस्ड ऑफ सिंफुल रिएक्शंस, क्योंकि हम कुछ ना कुछ कर्मा कर रहे हैं ना, every moment we are doing some karma, so we have to become purified of these reactions, then only we can go back to Godhead, then only we can attain the transcendental knowledge. That is why performing sacrifice is necessary, whoever you may be, whether you are a jnana yogi, karma yogi, ashtanga yogi, you are a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, whoever one is in human form of life, one should perform sacrifice in order to become cleansed of sinful reactions. और उसका रिजल्ट क्या है? Because when we perform sacrifices, we become free from sinful reactions, so we advance in spiritual knowledge. We spiritually we make advancement, we attain transcendental knowledge. O best, then text 31. O best of Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? So basically, Krishna is saying sacrifice we must perform. Without sacrifice, we cannot live happily. Then text 32. All these different types of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. तो ये जो sacrifices जो बताया गया है, ये वेदों में बताया गया है, मतलब भगवान ने बनाए हैं इन sacrifices को. It is not that any human being has just come up with these sacrifices. These are made by the Supreme Lord. Even before like creating this material world, he made the Vedas. He gave the Vedas, right first to Brahma ji, and from Lord Brahma it passed down to all of us. So basically these sacrifices are mentioned, are approved by the Vedas, and they are born of different types of work. मतलब कोई ब्रह्मचारी होगा, कोई गृहस्थ होगा, तो depending on which varna and which ashram we belong to, there are different sacrifices mentioned for all of us. Okay. Then
So
and then
माताजी,
yeah,
हरे कृष्णा माताजी,
yes,
तो
ma'am.
हम जैसे कि हम लोग तो गृहस्थ हैं, हमारे लिए क्या सेक्रीफाइस होना चाहिए? यही चैंटिंग और भगवान को भोग लगाना और
Yes,
मतलब
sacrifice.
निरंतर भगवान का ध्यान करना.
Yes. Because chanting is said to be the supreme sacrifice. Sankirtan Yagya, na? For Kali Yuga, it is Sankirtan Yagya. The sacrifice mentioned or which is given by the Supreme Lord as bona fide is Sankirtan Yagya, Nam Japa. So when we are chanting, we are doing sacrifice. Then other than that, all the devotional activities that we are doing. Now, for
Yes,
example,
माताजी.
when we offer bhoga to Krishna and then we eat prasad, तो उसमें भी हम sacrifice कर रहे हैं, यज्ञ कर रहे हैं. We are sacrificing, right? So the food, when we basically what is sacrifice? Anything which is done for the pleasure of Krishna is a sacrifice. Okay,
Okay,
यज्ञ का
माताजी.
मतलब क्या है? जो भगवान की प्रसन्नता के लिए की जाए उसे यज्ञ कहते हैं. ओके,
Okay,
फायर
माताजी.
यज्ञ में भी आप अगर आपने ध्यान दिया होगा तो कभी हम जब कोई हवन यज्ञ भी रखते हैं तो एंड में वो क्या बोलते हैं? कृष्णार्पणम अस्तु,
तो
right? Everything is for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. So basically, Krishna or Vishnu is the supreme beneficiary of any type of yajna. तो
okay.
फायर यज्ञ एक टाइप का यज्ञ है, लेकिन जैसे हम कोई भी एक्टिविटी कृष्ण के प्रसन्नता के लिए अगर हम करते हैं तो वो यज्ञ हो जाता है. तो जब हम भोग ऑफरिंग कर रहे हैं, वी आर डूइंग इट फॉर द प्लेजर ऑफ द लॉर्ड, इट बिकम्स यज्ञ. Okay, then reading and even hearing and preaching about Krishna, doing book distribution, giving books, Bhagavad Gita books to people. This is also we do for the pleasure of Krishna. So everything becomes a sacrifice. So how purifying it is. Now you can imagine all the activities done in Krishna consciousness. They are very, very purifying. They are liberating us from all our sinful reactions. That is just a byproduct. Main thing is Krishna becomes pleased and we attain transcendental knowledge, we become happy and we go back to Godhead. We attain Krishna Prem. That is our main goal. But actually getting liberated from sinful reactions is like a byproduct.
Yeah, like what you said before, Mataji, that another karmas, na, that you were talking about abhi piche, before
Yeah.
a karma. Yes, understood, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So then Krishna is saying basically ये पूरे अब तक हम जो रीड कर रहे हैं उसमें भगवान ये बता रहे हैं कि we have to attain the transcendental knowledge about Krishna and our relationship with Krishna. Now, in order to attain that, right now we are conditioned. तो हमारे conditioned stage में अब हमें क्या क्या करना है ताकि हमें वो knowledge प्राप्त हो. तो उस हिसाब से भगवान ने बताया अलग अलग वर्ण और अलग अलग आश्रम है, तो सबका अलग अलग सैक्रिफाइसेस भगवान ने बताया कि अगर कोई ब्रह्मचारी है तो उसके लिए ये सैक्रिफाइस है, कोई गृहस्थ है तो ये सैक्रिफाइस है. ओके, बट इन जनरल नाउ कृष्णा इज सेइंग 34th वर्स में भगवान कह रहे हैं, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So now Krishna is saying, whether you are a brahmachari or a grihastha, whether you are a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, koi bhi ho tum, you're a woman, you're a man, you're a child, whoever you may be, you try to get this knowledge by approaching a spiritual master. अब भगवान हमें बता रहे एक बोनाफाइड गुरु का रोल क्या है हमारे जीवन में. अगर हम एक बोनाफाइड गुरु को अप्रोच करते हैं और उनसे हम इंक्वायर करते हैं सबमिसिवली, with a submissive mood, not with a challenging mood, and we render service unto him, selfless service, then the self-realized souls, they impart knowledge unto us because they have seen the truth. तो अब भगवान ये हमें एक दूसरा सीक्रेट बता रहे हैं कि वही ट्रांसेंडेंटल नॉलेज आप don't take many lifetimes, you can within this one lifetime also you can attain that transcendental knowledge by approaching a bona fide spiritual master, inquiring from him submissively and rendering service unto him. Right? तो ये जो सीक्रेट है ना, ये this is very very important because people do not realize, people think that only by working hard will I attain the truth. So karmis are trying to work hard. Anyways, karmis are not on the spiritual path because they are trying to enjoy the material world. वो अगर कोई sacrifice कर भी रहे हैं तो उसके बदले में उनको कुछ material चीजें ही चाहिए. So they are not actually doing any spiritual activity. तो अगर कोई स्पिरिचुअल कर रहा है तो वो ज्ञानीज एंड योगीज में है, अष्टांग योगीज. ओके, नाउ द ज्ञानीज दे हैव टू बहुत सारे लाइफ टाइम अगर वो वेदों को पढ़ेंगे और अपने इंद्रियों को कंट्रोल में करेंगे तब जाके उनको थोड़ा बहुत कुछ स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज प्राप्त होता है. लेकिन भगवान कृष्ण को फिर भी वो समझ नहीं पाते ज्ञानीज. इवन द अष्टांग योगीज कई जन्मों तक वो जब बहुत तपस्या करते हैं, मतलब उनका जो सेक्रीफाइस है ना वो सिर्फ एक जन्म में उनको सक्सेस नहीं मिलेगा. दे हैव टू डू इट फॉर मेनी मेनी लाइफ टाइम्स एंड दैट टू दे विल अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग अबाउट सोल, समथिंग अबाउट ब्रह्म ज्योति और परमात्मा, बट दे विल नेवर बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट कृष्णा either by ज्ञान योगा सिस्टम और by अष्टांग योगा सिस्टम. we will never be able to understand Krishna. So that means वो इतना मेहनत करके भी उनको imperfect नॉलेज प्राप्त होता है. अगर मिलता भी है ट्रांसेंडेंटल नॉलेज तो भी वो कंप्लीट नहीं है. Whereas Krishna is now giving us a secret here 34th वर्स में कि अगर हम सिंपली एक बोनाफाइड स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर को अप्रोच करते हैं जो स्वयं जो who is a devotee of Lord Krishna, और अगर हम उनको सबमिसिवली इंक्वायर करते हैं, उनकी सेवा करते हैं, तो from when they become happy with us, they transfer the knowledge to us in our heart because they have seen the truth. उन्होंने भगवान को देखा है, कृष्ण को देखा है, कृष्ण के कनेक्शन में है, so they can connect us with Krishna. Then so even Srila Vyasadeva, when he wrote all the scriptures, basically when Srila Vyasadeva he saw the condition of the material world, for all the jiva's benefit, he thought I will write down the Vedas. Because if the jivatma, हम जो जीव हैं, हम इस material world में we are suffering, we are just entangled in repeated birth, that old age and disease. So Srila Vyasadeva thought, what should I do so that these jivas will benefit? So then he thought maybe I should write down the Vedas, the knowledge which has been given, coming down from Lord Krishna to Brahma to Narad Muni, and even I have that Vedic knowledge. Let me write it down so that people will benefit from it. So he wrote down all the Vedas for the benefit of all of us in Kali Yuga. But even after writing the entire Vedas, he was not happy. He was not happy, and then suddenly his guru Srila Narad Muni, he came to his ashram, and he asked him that he asked Srila Vyasdev that why do you look so morose? You have done such hard work. You have written down all the Vedas. Why are you still not very happy? So Srila Vyasdev said, I don't know. You tell me. You are my guru. You know better. So I have done so much hard work. I have written down all the Vedic scriptures, but still I don't feel happy. So then Narad Muni said that yes, you are not happy because you have written down the Vedas wherein all it will give fuel to the Sakam Karmis. People will be more interested in doing fruitive activity by reading these Vedic scriptures because you have not spoken or you have not written down about Lord Krishna. You have not glorified Krishna. You have not glorified Bhakti Yoga, which will actually take the Jivas back to Godhead. That is why you're not feeling happy. So then Srila Vyasdev realized, yes, I'm not happy because I did not glorify Lord Krishna enough. I did not tell the Jivas the real truth that we should be serving Krishna, that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So then Narad Muni, he told a story about himself to Srila Vyasdev. He told him that, look, even in my previous life, I was a son of a maid servant. And my mother was very pious and she used to serve the Bhakti Vedantas. So, all the saintly people. So once 4 Bhakti Vedantas, they came to our house. और उस वक्त मैं छोटा सा बच्चा था, he was just a 5-year-old. So my mother used to serve them and she used to ask me also to serve the saintly people. So उनको खाना खिलाना, उनको सर्व करना, उनका प्लेट जो है लेकर जाना, उनका जो उच्चिष्ट रह गया है वो खाना, तो मैं ये सब करता था और 4 महीने वो हमारे साथ ही थे. तो ये सब करने के बाद after 4 months I used to sit and hear what they are discussing. So they used to always talk about Krishna. They used to talk about the self-realization. And so sitting amongst them and by receiving their mercy, because I used to take their उच्चिष्ट, उनका जो उच्चिष्ट था वो मुझे मिलता था और मैं उनसे क्वेश्चंस पूछता था तो वो मुझे आंसर देते थे. So getting their association for 4 months, then I got that real knowledge. I got that knowledge and they initiated me, they gave me the mantra, and after a few months my mother left me. Narad Muni जो उनकी मम्मी थी वो कुछ महीनों बाद she left the body. Then he was just all alone. But he did not get depressed. He immediately remembered all the knowledge given to him by the saintly people. And then he started chanting, and after many years, he saw the form of Lord Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu told him that you continue chanting in this lifetime, next life you will get spiritual body. And then Narad Muni gets his spiritual body. So Narad Muni, he tells Srila Vyasdev his own story, how he is also a jiva like us, but by performing devotional service, by serving the spiritual master, and by following their instructions, now he has got a spiritual body. So this is how the jivas can get liberated. They can get the spiritual body by performing devotional service. So you must glorify devotional service. You must write about Lord Krishna. And that's how Srila Vyasdev then wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the cream of all the Vedas, which Srila Vyasdev wrote after writing down all the Vedas in the end. So this is the secret that Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then text 35. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine. So basically, अगर जो ज्ञानीज और जो yogis जो sacrifice करके after many lifetimes, they may get some knowledge, but that is not complete knowledge, and there is every chance that they will fall back again in the material world. But for those jivas who attain the knowledge from self-realized soul by serving them, by inquiring from them, they become completely free from illusion. They will get complete knowledge about Krishna, and they will go back to Godhead. So there is no chance of falling down again in the material world by this process of Krishna consciousness. Then text 36, even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Then Krishna says in 36th verse that this process of Krishna consciousness, of approaching a bona fide guru and serving a guru and attaining knowledge from him by serving him, by attaining that transcendental knowledge, anybody can cross the ocean of miseries. Even if somebody is the most sinful person, even he will be liberated. So this is so powerful. Bhakti yoga is so powerful that even if somebody is very, very sinful person, सोचो उसको कितना जन्म लगेगा अपने sinful reaction से मुक्त होने के लिए, and then to attain transcendental knowledge. अगर वो ज्ञान योगा या अष्टांग योगा का पथ लेगा, suppose कोई बहुत sinful है, if he takes to Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga Marg, it will take so many lifetimes first to become free of his sinful activities and then attain transcendental knowledge. But suppose if he simply approaches a bona fide guru, he will become free of all his sinful reactions in this one lifetime itself. Okay. So this is a very, I think I have told you about the real story of one devotee who approached Srila Prabhupada. He was a thief. Everybody knows his story. That devotee is still there today.
No, Mataji.
Okay, so I will end today's class with these stories because it is important to understand what Krishna is trying to tell us, that even if somebody is very sinful and he has a baggage of all sinful reactions, but still if he approaches a bona fide guru, he will overcome, or all his karmic reactions will get over in this lifetime only, and even he can come back to Godhead. He can cross the ocean of miseries also. What to speak of pious people? Even the sinful people get liberated. And practically we have seen Srila Prabhupada has liberated all the sinful people in West. That when Srila Prabhupada went, they were all, amongst whom did he start the movement? Amongst the hippies. Okay, so the 4 regulative principles which we follow, they were breaking all the 4 regulative principles. So they were committing all kinds of sinful activities. But Srila Prabhupada, when they took shelter of Srila Prabhupada, now they are like first-class devotees. Many of them have left their bodies in such a way, remembering Lord Krishna, with a smile on their face, with a glow on their face. Even though their past was sinful, but their future became very bright because they took shelter of a bona fide guru like Srila Prabhupada. Okay, and similarly, we have one more pastime where there was one devotee. Actually, he was a thief actually, and like a small time thief होता है ना, छोटा मोटा चोरी करना और जेल में जाना. So he had that habit of stealing, okay, things. और बार बार वो जेल जाते थे और जेल से छूट कर कुछ दिनों बंद रहकर फिर वापस छूट जाते थे, वापस वो कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा चोरी वगैरह करते थे, चले जाते थे जेल में. सो लाइक दैट ही हैड एक्चुअली, मतलब बहुत सारा उनके ऊपर ये था जिसकी वजह से वो जेल में उनको और लॉन्ग टर्म उनको पनिशमेंट अभी भी पेंडिंग था उनका बहुत सारा. So once he got a paper, newspaper, उसमें श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी का पिक्चर था और प्रभुपाद जी ने गोल्डन वॉच पहना हुआ था. तो उसका ध्यान उस गोल्डन वॉच पे गया and he thought I should meet this person. Why? Because he wanted to steal the golden watch. तो उसका इंटेंशन ये नहीं था कि मैं जाके वो सेंटली पर्सन से सुनूं या वो नहीं था. He wanted to steal the golden watch. तो वो कैसे कैसे पता करके जुहू टेम्पल आया और जुहू टेम्पल में आया तो उसने पूछा कि मुझे ये AC भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद से मिलना है, वो कहाँ मिलेंगे. तो वहां पे जो ब्रह्मचारी थे उन्होंने कहा कि अभी वो हैदराबाद में है, आप कुछ दिनों यहाँ पे रहो, ही इज गोइंग टू कम वेरी सून टू मुंबई. तो वो बोले कि ठीक है, यहाँ पे मिलेगा मुझे खाना पीना. दे सेड यस यस, यू विल गेट प्रसाद, यू विल गेट एवरीथिंग, स्टे हियर. So he said, okay, सब फ्री में मिल रहा है, चोर है. Naturally, he got attracted. So he said, I will stay here. Tell me what I have to do. So they said, we get up early in the morning, we chant holy name, we perform aarti, we hear Bhagavatam class, everything. So you have to do all this if you want to stay here. So he says, ठीक है ना, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, फाइनली मुझे जो चाहिए वो मिल जाएगा. He starts acting. Okay, सुबह सुबह जल्दी उठना, उनके साथ बैठ के चैंटिंग करना, फिर आरती परफॉर्म करना और भागवतम क्लास सुनना, सब वो करने लगा. उसका मेन पर्पस ये था कि कब शिला प्रभुपाद आएंगे, कब मैं उनका चोरी करूं, लेकिन उसके लिए वो इतना मेहनत कर रहा है. ओके, he started doing that. After a few days, like a week or so, शिला प्रभुपाद comes to Mumbai. और प्रभुपाद जी का भागवतम क्लास था. ओके, तो ये बैठ के वहां पे सुन रहे हैं. He is also among in the crowd amongst all the devotees. And Srila Prabhupada, then after the class, Srila Prabhupada removes his watch and he calls that person and he says, "Take this." He was surprised, कि अरे ये मुझे अपने आप दे रहे हैं. So he starts crying and he says, "Srila Prabhupada, आपको कैसे पता चला? मैं इसी के लिए एक्चुअली यहाँ पे आया हूँ और वगैरह चैंटिंग वगैरह कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन अब मेरा हार्ट इतना प्यूरिफाई हो गया है. I don't want now. I want to follow this process. It is so purifying. I'm so happy just by chanting daily, doing aarti, hearing, reading, and in your association. I don't want to leave you. I don't want this golden watch. My heart is purified now." So Prabhupada was very happy. And उसके बाद पुलिस आया भी था उन्हें लेने के लिए, लेकिन when the police saw कि वो अच्छे से सब कुछ फॉलो कर रहा है, सुबह जल्दी उठना और एक पायस लाइफ वो फॉलो कर रहा है, they pardoned him for all his previous जो भी उसका पेंडिंग था पनिशमेंट्स, उसको उससे भी छुटकारा मिल गया. So can you imagine, just by association of a pure devotee, उनका जो सिंफुल रिएक्शन जो एक्चुअली उनको मिलने वाला था फ्यूचर में, वो सब कुछ चला गया. ओके, जस्ट बिकॉज ही टुक टू डिवोशनल सर्विस. सो कितना क्विकली, जो हम इतने मल्टीपल लाइफ टाइम्स के बाद हमारा कोई कर्मा जो है वो फ्री होंगे, वो हम एक ही लाइफ टाइम में विद इन वेरी शॉर्ट टाइम वी कैन बिकम फ्रीड ऑफ अवर karma. So even His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, he was telling in a class that how even he had a devotee who was actually in jail. Okay, he committed some crime and he went to jail, but he had come in contact with devotees and he knew about chanting, he knew about Bhagavad Gita. तो जब वो जेल गया, तो he started chanting there. He started reading Bhagavad Gita in jail and he started preaching also. तो वो खाली खुद ही नहीं, वो जितने भी वहां पे जेल में इनमेट्स थे, वो उनको भी चैंट करवाता था, उनको भी भगवत गीता प्रीच करने लगा. So then he wrote once to Guru Maharaj that I want to take initiation from you. So Guru Maharaj said that I will give you initiation provided you promise that you will follow all 4 regulative principles and you will not commit any sinful activity and you must ask for pardon from the court, Supreme Court. उनसे माफी मांगना होगा. तो एक्चुअली उनको, उसने जो क्राइम कमिट किया था ना, उसके वजह से उनको डेथ पनिशमेंट मिलने वाला था. Okay, but then when he approached the Supreme Court and he told them that now I am changed, okay, I have changed myself, अब मैं ये सब प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ. और he basically उसने सुप्रीम कोर्ट को ऐसा लिखा कि please for forgiveness, and he told that he is following all these things. So then उसका जो डेथ सेंटेंस है, उससे उसको लाइफ टाइम इम्प्रिजनमेंट का पनिशमेंट मिल गया. So Guru Maharaj still, he initiated him and he is still chanting. He was chanting in the jail, and just few days back he was released from the jail. मतलब उसका जो लाइफ टाइम इम्प्रिजनमेंट था, उससे भी उसको छुटकारा मिल गया. गवर्नमेंट ने वो भी कम कर दिया कि नाउ ही इज अ वेरी नाइस जेंटलमैन, ही हैज बिकम, सो ही कैन बी रिलीज फ्रॉम द जेल. ओके, मतलब उनका जो डेथ सेंटेंस है, पहले लाइफ टाइम इम्प्रिजनमेंट, उससे भी अब वो छुटकारा मिलके नाउ ही इज रिलीज फ्रॉम जेल. एंड ही केम टू मीट Guru Maharaj and he was very happy to see. So he said that because of you, I am released from my sinful reactions, and by your mercy now I have realized the importance of life and exact whatever. Now he's practicing devotional service. So this is the power of devotional service. This is the power of approaching a bona fide guru and attaining the transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, we have to be in this material world for many, many lifetimes. Even suppose I have to, I take up any spiritual path, I take up like Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. It's not just one lifetime, many lifetimes. I have to practice all these yoga systems. I have to do so many sacrifices. Then in some lifetime, I will get some knowledge, but not complete knowledge about Krishna. Whereas this bhakti yoga is so powerful that by the mercy of a pure devotee, we become purified. Although we are not qualified, we are not eligible, we must be so sinful, but still by their mercy we can attain. So this is exactly what is Krishna trying to tell us in these verses, 35th and 36th. So we'll stop here for today. Any questions from anyone? We didn't do any new shloka, but still it was necessary to revise the others.
माताजी वो कौन से प्रभु जी थे जिनको गोल्डन वॉच चाहिए थे?
जिनको गोल्डन वॉच, उनका नाम हरिदास है शायद. He is there in Juhu. He lives near Juhu temple. He comes daily for darshan even today.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Nice, inspiring story, Mataji.
Yeah.
Because if somebody is doing wrong in life, so we can tell them this.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
every Prabhupada ji का जब appearance या disappearance day होता है ना, he always speaks. He always gives his offering. तो कभी आप temple जाओगे,
Yeah.
you will always hear from him. He
Okay,
always
Mataji, surely.
shares his story because his story is so inspiring. Because he tells that I am a live example of how even a sinful person can become liberated and go back to Godhead.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, and Prabhupada is also, Prabhupada is so powerful, without, he was not there in the temple also, and he didn't see that Haridas Prabhuji. And then also,
But
he
knew
knew
his desire.
the desire.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we are so lucky, to be in this Krishna consciousness because of Prabhupada. We should
Absolutely.
be very grateful to Prabhupada. Each and every second, we should be very grateful to him.
Very true. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada, yes, Madam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay, any question from anyone? Swati Mataji, do you have any question?
No, Mataji, no question. Thank you.
Okay. How about Sujata Mataji, Sita Lakshmi Mataji, Anuradha Mataji, Leena
It's
Mataji?
nice to connect after a long time, Mataji. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Leena Mataji.